Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us here on the Daily Racing Form YouTube. I'm Gino Buccola alongside Mike Beer, producers Bobby and Vinny helping us out as we get you ready for some stakes action at Kentucky Downs. Let's take a look at the field for the Juvenile Turf Sprint. Mike, this one is going to go as race number 6 on Saturday. I say turf, they're all on the grass over there at Kentucky Downs. But
That's true.
now we will have the 7-day Kentucky Downs meet over the next few weeks where they run for incredible purse structure. And these weekends when there's Kentucky Downs and Del Mar and Saratoga, there's only a couple of them. They're very busy racing weekends with a lot of stakes action.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, the sort of earlier opening here for Kentucky Downs, throws a wrench into some of these other tracks here, but they got big fields here. They run for big money, so the horses are going to show up. We have a turf race here for 2-year-olds dealing with a huge purse here, and of course, that's going to draw a big field.
$750,000 up for grabs for the 2-year-old sprinting 6.5 furlongs on that unique undulating turf course there at Kentucky Downs. Here's a look at the field with the odds. Let's take a look at the Timeform US pace projector and we'll meet this field horse by horse. They do think it's going to be pretty fair pace up front with a couple different horses showing some early speed. Let's meet the one Grand Yaupon. Going to try turf for the first time. Dam was unraced. A couple sibs never turfed. Yaupon, I think, is 11% with turf sprinters as a sire. Grand Yaupon was second in the Ellis Juvenile most recently, was well beaten that day. Did get shuffled back a little bit to third. He came on to be a clear-cut second, was about 4 lengths clear of third. He was a little green that day. What do you think about him trying the turf for the first time?
Yeah, it's a tough call. I mean, I don't think he has a ton of pedigree to suggest he's going to be better on grass. So I guess we'll see. Kentucky Downs, maybe that doesn't matter as much as some other courses. He's a good example of how challenging a race like this is the handicap, right? It's a 12-horse field. I believe half of these horses, 6 of the 12, have never run on turf before.
Yeah.
So he fits in there. There's also a first-time starter in this field. So, there are just a ton of questions to answer. As far as Grand Yaupon goes, I'll say this about him, his dirt races. I thought his race at Saratoga 2 starts back was excellent. There were a lot of first-time starters in that field, but I think just about every other horse in the field took a shot at this horse on the lead, and he just kept putting horses away and stayed on, and he won that race. Couldn't go with the Baffert horse shipping in that Ellis Park Stakes last time, but he was second best. I don't know. I just wish he had more turf pedigree. I'd probably like him more.
Yeah, and that's what makes this race so tough, as you were talking about half the field hasn't tried the grass. And they would, 5 years ago, they'd be running in dirt races in other places. They wouldn't come to run unless it was the $750,000 purse. The 2, Good to Be King, is the next one up. All 3 of his races have been on the turf. What I like about him in this spot, in his second start, he actually won going a mile. And it looked like the 5.5 races might be a little short for him. So when we're talking about distance, he may be one of the few that the distance actually hits him right between the eyes. And we know he can get the 6.5. And sort of looking at the way the race sets up, when you have a lot of these horses that are stretching out for the first time and you figure they're going to be a little bit more forward, I just think he's going to get a really nice trip in here. Going from 5.5 back to 6.5, I could see him moving late.
I'm with you on all that stuff. I mean, to me, he's just a super logical horse. I mean, this race, we already know that he handles the turf. I'm with you really on the distance piece of this thing too. He actually didn't even, turning all the way back to 5.5 for his last race, it's not easy to do. I thought he ran really well in that race.
Yeah.
I like the way he was finishing in there. I think the 6.5 is probably a really good distance for this horse. I just thought there was a lot to like here.
It was kind of a weird trip too. He was shifting in and then he ended up back outside of the eventual winner in that race. There's absolutely some talent here. Pinpoint, another one trying turf for the first time. Dam never turfed. It was an impressive winner on the dirt last out at Saratoga by 6+ lengths, earned a 70 Beyer speed figure. Good start. He was sitting just outside the pace setter. He pushed up to clear off by a length and just was always traveling well.
Yeah, he really improved from start 1 to start 2. If you go back his debut, I know he faced Booked in that race. He was a pretty good 2-year-old on dirt. This horse just basically showed no speed first time out. And then he comes back with a start under his belt. He just gets loose on the lead and wires the field at a price. So I don't know. Obviously, big improvement there. Another horse, there's enough turf pedigree here for me to think maybe he'll handle this. I feel like, I don't know. I didn't look it up. Maybe you did, Gino. I feel like Pletcher's not that well represented in these Kentucky Downs races. So maybe that's a good sign that he shipped this horse here. I don't know. I don't think I'd take 9-2 on him, but I won't be surprised if he runs well.
Yeah, you don't see the many pleasure runners out there. That's a good point. Arctic Wolf is the next one up. The blinkers come on for him. He was only 4-1 in that stakes race at Ellis Park. And
Yeah.
he broke in, he got bumped. He was about 3 lengths off. He was getting a really nice setup. He just couldn't go on with it that day. Maybe the blinkers will help him get a little bit more focused. And he was behind Good to Be King in that last start.
Yeah, I wonder if you wanted to, maybe just look at it and say he didn't. The course was listed as yielding. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like it. I don't really know what to make of his last race. I just thought he was bad in there,
Yeah.
and it came on the heels of a debut that I thought was pretty good in New York. I thought he ran pretty well in that race. Of course, I guess he was privately purchased out of that race, and it's new ownership now, or for that last race with a new trainer. So I guess they bought him out of the debut. I can see him rebounding. I guess, especially if he's going to be a big price.
Braums' run was third in the Royal Palm Juvenile in the debut back in May. Beat restricted maidens in a race that didn't come back all that fast. July the 19th at Saratoga. In winning the race, he only earned a 49 buyer. He did look pretty professional in that race, though. He sat a pretty nice trip. He moved to the lead at the top of the lane. It looked like workmanlike effort, but you just feel like he's probably going to have to get a little bit faster against this group.
Yeah, I just wonder how good he is. I don't know. I mean, at the pretty slow race when they moved him to dirt last time, I know it, technically he debuted in a stakes race, but that Royal Palm at Gulfstream every year, man, that's just a field full of maidens and first
Yeah,
time starters. I don't know. That's
exactly.
not really a stakes race, and in my opinion, he didn't run that well in that race.
Up next, it's Mid-American. He was a pretty handy winner on August the 9th. In his debut, he tried the dirt. With the dirt came in a race that came back pretty strong, a couple next out winners in there. Then in his second start, he moved to the turf. He was inside. He was just behind the leaders. He moved up to third, traveling pretty well, kind of waiting for room, angled around 3 wide. Pretty strong effort from
Yeah.
Mid-American in that turf debut. But strong field here. I mean, when you're just like looking at speed figures and comparing them, he's going to have to get a little bit faster. But if you're looking for like a really interesting live long shot, I didn't have a problem with that race in his first turf start.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's one of the horses who really moved up with the surface switch last time. I thought that was a really solid race that he ran. So I expect him to, handle this turf course and maybe run well right back. And they've priced him, pretty big on the morning line here. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I love this horse, but I think he could run well in here.
Yeah, 20-1 just seems high.
Yeah.
Admiral's Order is the next one up, another trying turf for the first time. His debut on July the 11th at Ellis was pretty good. He had a fast start from the inside. He got the lead by about a half of a length. He had some pressure to his outside. He put the other speed away, and the race has already come back live. The third finisher came back to win a maiden special weight next out with a 69 buyer the other day at Del Mar. It's a pretty nice horse. Take a picture, runs for Peter Miller, who was third that day, and he was kind of in trouble and kind of getting shuffled around. I think that July 11th race is strong and maybe a race that we want to get ahead of before it really even becomes like a bunch of next out winners in a key race. And this horse, Admiral's Order, is around 8-1. I think he's a player in here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And I think the other thing that's worth noting about the race that he comes out of, it was scheduled for turf. So it's not like this horse just ran on dirt and now they're like, well, let's just go and see what happens,
Great point.
as a turf. They wanted to run this horse on grass first time out. And I liked the race that he ran to, taking pressure early, kicking away from those horses. I like his pedigree for the surface switch. He's a very fair price on the line. I thought there was plenty to like about this horse.
Next, it's Vino. Dam was 0-2 on the grass. Lone Sibling did win on the turf. The question I have for him is the distance 6.5, because that actually should be a really nice distance for him. Another one who came running late in some of those shorter sprints was behind Booked last time out, who was second. Came back to finish second in the Grade 2 Saratoga Special. Thought Vecino was fine in that race. He kind of ran a winning race where he was 10 lengths clear of the third place finisher. He just wasn't as good as the winner that day. For him now, I think it just comes down to, will he take his talents to the grass? Because he should get a good trip, could get a good setup, and just the way the race shape is, it'll just be really about surface for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on all those things. Yeah, I mean, listen, he was never going to be booked in the Sanford last time, but I guess he ran fine in that race. That was a tough race for me to evaluate, because Booked was just better than this horse.
Yeah.
And it just kind of felt like the other horses in that field just didn't do any running at all. So it was tough for me to say how well I thought Vecino ran. When he won his debut, it was just a race that, in my opinion, that pace got contested and it just fell apart. And he just came in and picked up some tired horses late. So I'm just not thrilled with either of his races so far, but maybe he's a turf horse.
Up next, it's Waggley. He's a multiple stakes winner. He's beat the boys a couple times so far. So, or she has. This is a filly. Her dam was 0 for 3 on the turf, but did finish second and third. So she showed some ability on the grass. 3 siblings to try turf and a couple winners in that Prairie Meadows race most recently. Broke out, bumped, but cleared off by a length. Got briefly challenged to her inside, and then put those horses and put that one away and open up 2. And one of the horses that she beat, Dial It Down, came back to win next out at Prairie Meadows with a 64 buyer. I don't really have a whole lot of knocks on her overall as a horse. Nope. I just think she's going to be a little shorter than I want to take in this type of a race where I haven't seen her go this far. She's going to have to stretch out from 5.5 on the dirt to this 6.5 on the turf, which could be way different in a field where there's a lot of speed. So overall, her as a horse, talented. They've done a great job with her so far. This feels like a pretty sizable step up in class and just a lot of things different that they're going to be throwing at her.
Yeah, you bring up all of the valid questions that you're supposed to ask about this horse, right? As the morning line favorite in this race, or 5-2 price there. And it is also worth noting too that Ward, he does have her entered in the Sunday race for fillies too. So who knows where he's going to run her. I'll listen. I'm with you on the pedigree part of it. I think she's going to be okay on the turf. The Life is Goods are a tough call for me right now. He's off to a great start as a sire. Just not sure if they're going to be turf horses or not. But I guess he deserves a little time for that to play out. I'll just Waggley. I like all of her races. I think she's a really talented horse, and I'm kind of afraid of her. Whether she runs here or she runs on Sunday, I'm kind of afraid of this horse. I think she's talented.
She's absolutely, and with her speed, she makes a dent in whatever race.
Yes.
It's going to have an impact on the race either way. If she shows up here or if she shows up on Sunday, you make a great point because the Sunday race we'll talk about, there are like 4 or 5 horses that are cross-entered in that race. So you want to keep an eye on in these Kentucky Downs races because a lot of horses will be cross-entered, entered in races at Saratoga or other places. Just keep an eye on where they'll actually be running. We move to Boyhood Dream, Dam 1 on the turf. This horse actually broke the maiden first time out on the synthetic, then tried a Florida bred stakes race and was behind a horse named Sum of Success last time out. So Boyhood Dream trying the turf for the first time. What do you think about this one's chances?
I'm not against this horse either. I thought there was enough turf pedigree here to suggest that the service. I liked her debut on the synthetic. I know she only narrowly won it, but I thought she did some racing in there and got the job done. I mean, just bumped into an absolute killer last time in the summation. That horse that beat her is now 2 for 2 with 2 big wins, 2 fast wins. That's a really good horse. And Boyhood Dream just had no chance to beat him.
The wrestling fans will know what I'm talking about here with Shawn Michaels completing the Boyhood Dream, winning the WWE title back in 1996. We moved to Just a Holiday. Dam 1 on the turf, stakes placed. She finished second in her only turf start. We have a replay of it. It was July the 9th right here at Saratoga. She was fast early. She got the lead on the inside. She had some pressure. He had some pressure to his outside. I'm now saying she because she was Waggley, and there was a couple he's after that. But he wins the battle of the speeds. He held off a couple challenges, but he was just second best that day behind a horse that you can see just gets a nice trip coming from off the pace. I thought this was still a pretty good effort.
Yeah, I'm with you. Did a lot of racing in here. Just can't hold off the last run from the closer, but not a bad performance at all. And a huge step forward from the debut on dirt. This horse just didn't really run that well at all. Obviously, took to the turf just fine last time. And that's what the pedigree suggests that this horse could have improved on the grass, and he did.
Not many other preview shows where you're going to get a couple wrestling references in one, but now we got the Ultimate Warrior rounding out the field, Mike. Right. This horse was a first-time starter who's Dam 1 on the turf, a half to a multiple graded stakes winner who was a 6-time turf winner, and one other sibling tried the grass and won on it. Yeah. My major concern is the barn with the first-time starters. When you just go back over the last 5 years, I think 3 for 34. Yeah. So capable with the right type of horse, but this horse is going to be drawn way to the outside in a tough, big field. He would really have to be ready to go first time out of the box to win a race like this.
Yeah, I'm with you. He's not my kind of horse. I'll just say that about him. I mean, he's got the pedigree. There's enough pedigree here to think that this horse is going to be okay on the grass. The Jackie's Warriors, he's not setting the world on fire, but some of his horses have really taken to the grass. So there's plenty of pedigree here. He's just not my kind of horse.
Kentucky Downs Juvenile Sprint going to go as race number 6 with $750,000 up for grabs on Saturday, August the 29th. We round out the field. Let's move to selections here. Mike, how are you going to stack them up for this one?
I mean, this race it's so wide open, man. I could have thrown a couple of other horses in the mix here. Ultimately, I just decided if I'm going to bet it, I'm looking for a decent price in this race. And I thought the 7 Admiral's Order could be the right kind of number in here. I know that the debut came on a wet main track, but they wanted this horse on turf. I like his pedigree for turf. And I thought he ran well the only time we saw him.
Both have a couple of the same horses in here, and the 7 was actually, when I kind of marked my numbers, was my 5th horse. That would have been like my next horse in the mix. But I'm going to go with the 2, Good to Be King, just hoping that he gets that trip where he's able to sit back, save ground inside. They go really fast outside, and a lot of these horses haven't been 6.5. And the 6.5 that plays even more than 6.5, right? It's the deep course. It plays better to horses that might even be cutting back. So give me Good to the King. Mike's got Admiral's Order on top. 7, 9, 10, 2 for Mike. 2, 8, 9, 6 for me. We'd always love to hear from you. So drop a comment in the comments section below. Subscribe, like the video. Let us know how you're playing this race on Saturday at Kentucky Downs. Best of luck.